Forget your name.
Get up there.
Well, my name is Garrett Krause, and this is...
Hello, my name is Gabe Nichols.
Okay. That's good. Joe Nichols, that was my son. And
I'm Ron Elliott. I'm the Scoutmaster of the troop since 2000, so coming up on my 25th anniversary. Our troop has been like anything else in the world, up and down right now. We've got 7 active boys, but we're still going. There's a number of troops in town that have closed, so we're thankful that we've picked up. Actually, these 2 came from the Earsville troop when they folded, so we're thankful that people think we're good enough to come to when they want to continue scouting. And these boys are working on the communication merit badge, and one of the requirements was to attend a city council meeting and take very studious notes. So hopefully they can do that. Give them a lot to think about.
Oh, and your troop is based at St. Mary Catholic?
St. John's Catholic.
St. John Catholic. Okay. All right. Well, and like I mentioned before we got underway, as we conduct affairs here, before we adjourn for the evening, I always open it up in case anyone has questions. So if you come up with a good, honest, fair question to pose to council this evening, I'll give you an opportunity to come up and ask.
Sure.
All right. Thanks for being our guest.
Thank you.
thank you.
Do we have any liaison meeting requests or reports currently? And do we have any comments from council? Mr. Engel.
Yes, I've got some comments, and also on 1657 Twin Drive in the neighborhood that I live in. I've had a lot of neighbors there complain. I've got they have not mowed their yard all spring. It's probably a foot and a half tall. They've got junk all over. I think something needs to be done for people like this. I think we charge $50 or $100 for that through the courts, if I'm not mistaken. I think stuff like this and people like this, it needs to be higher. I would like to see it that we change an ordinance that would be $500 for people like that. And when they have not done anything. They can mow, they can pick up their junk in their yard, in their garage and everything. People that can't mow, I can understand that, but these people have a mower and they can do whatever they want to do. And I've had a lot of complaints around the neighborhood, just not back where I live, but all over around in that area. I'd like to see something, and they would like to see something to be done.
We'll take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Now, as far as, I suppose, Mr. O'Donnell, it wouldn't hurt to update council on how we're handling the frequent flyers, because I don't disagree with what Mr. Engel's saying, and I think generally the public supports the fact that if people just want to keep pushing the limits, and we have the ability to raise those fines as they're repeat offenders, then maybe we should consider doing that by ordinance, if we can do that.
They've done the same thing last year. I know they've had at least 2 nuisance signs in their yard, and it might be 3, but they will not do anything. Their kids play on the street, UPS truck about hit them, and the wife was gonna report them, and they said they've been here already. They can do things like we can do, but they just don't do it.
Mr. Resti.
I think basically just if I can add on to what Mr. Engel's saying, if we were going to basically review it, I think it'd be something to review the entire program as it stands. And then the other part to it is that as Mr. Engel stated, there are some people that basically abuse a situation, and I think it might be something that we might want to do is talk about occurrences, repeat occurrences, and those types of things. And if there is something that we need to do, that might be why we want to do it. Maybe put an additional penalty onto it after you had a chance of 1, 2, or 3 or something like that. But it'd be something that we could discuss, and we could logically sit down and say whether what we have in place is working or else we need to do something different. So that would be what I would want to do. It's just depends on what council wants to do. If they want to do a study session or
I think it's worth a discussion for sure.
so.
There are a lot of people that are repeat that we have to deal with all the time.
Do you need something, a direction from council? Or do you think you have enough?
I think we just received that.
Okay.
I mean, I think, you know, when you can go into the local code, you type the word nuisance. Most of our code comes up in that section. It's not lengthy. We did, since I've been mayor, I know that's been a while, but we did review that, adopted a new code. It's simpler. It includes a penalty, which was the biggest problem with our old code, is it didn't include a penalty. And I remember going over to Judge Roars saying, I don't understand. We cite these folks, they come over here to the court and you dismiss it. And he said, it's because there's no penalty attached to the crime, if you will. And so we cleaned up our language in the nuisance code. We used an attorney out of Perrysburg and attached a penalty. And that, all things that we can review.
I think it's probably more of a matter of enforcement because you see it all over town.
Some people, you go to the door and you ask them to get their grass mowed and they will take care of it. Some homes are vacant and obviously they don't get taken care of. And I saw one today that's got a sign in it, not a for sale sign. It's got one of our nuisance signs and it's pretty obvious the house is vacant. So, you know, that's a case where we'll just get it taken care of. Those kids are out working.
The focus is basically, I think, the repetitive people who are continually having to be
Correct.
reminded. And if it's a case that we didn't just find out if they need some assistance somehow, I mean, that's out there. But if it's just not wanting to mow your lawn, then
That's the problem, is it becomes kind of a judgment call of, are these people abusing the system, could do it, or choosing not to, and creating a problem. But then there's also the other side of the coin, which, I mean, we had a very nice older lady come into City Hall earlier this week and asked how much it costs to have the city mow her yard for her because she is unable to do it herself. She didn't know where to go, and unfortunately, because we're, as government officials, we can't endorse a company or tell her where to go specifically, business-wise. But there is that segment of the population out there that really can't. And they would probably fall under that habitual users category as well. And so it's going to be a balancing act as we look at it.
Mr. Hancock.
I also feel that weather has a condition on when to mow as well. We've had quite a bit of rain, and there has only been, you know, so many days that we have been able to mow at that time. So I don't think it'd be a good time to mow right now.
Not this minute.
Kids out there mowing anymore, you know?
But I do agree it should be reviewed.
I've managed to get our yard mowed in several times now.
One word of caution, though. I mean, I understand the frustration completely, but this goes with any portion of the code. It's good to review them, but simply because you put something in the text of the code does not mean that's going to be the penalty that the court is going to assess. It could be a maximum penalty. Maybe that increases. Currently, there's a provision in the nuisance code that allows the court to impose a per day penalty. In other words, give the maximum penalty for every day that the nuisance is in place, is in existence. I've never seen that happen, but it's there, and we can ask for it for these repeat offenders. So the tools may be there. It may just be a matter of the squeaky wheel getting the oil.
Yeah, I just think there's needs to be something done. This happened to this same house last year. City come out and they mowed it. They had to clean the junk up before they mowed it. Right now, they'd go to mow it Friday, Saturday. They couldn't get through it because there's junk all over on the lawn. They'd take them an hour to get that stuff done. I'm talking about people like this. I'm not talking about people like you were saying, the lady came in. These people, they will not do anything. they'll let the city come out and mow and clean up their property. Otherwise, they will not do anything.
What's the cost for that?
That's the people I'm talking about.
We charge by the hour, and I think there's a minimum, Mr. Corbett, $75 maybe.
That sounds great.
Pretty cheap, if you gotta clean all that
Well,
up, well, that much great.
Again, we'll get it to you. We're sitting here speculating
I
now.
know.
Let's get to the facts. And is that it, Mrs. Elders? Is that what you put up there in the nuisance code?
Yeah.
There's not a ton there. We tried to simplify it as best we could, so.
That's the one without the penalties provision.
That's
The new one's chapter 13, 17.
When would you like to have a
You
discussion?
can try and have that to you in a couple, we don't meet next week.
Whenever it's convenient for you guys, I
Right.
think it'd be nice to get that out there. And I think it's one of those things when we initially reset the program, it's been working, but sometimes it has to be retweaked because
Right.
of things that take place is changing. So, be good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other concerns from council? All right, I do have two things on my desk. One of them is a reminder that all Class C and D retail permits that sell alcohol beverages will expire on June 1st, 2025. So that's in just a couple weeks. That if you're a business owner and you have a retail liquor permit, the renewal paperwork needs to be turned in to the Department of Commerce. Which leads us to number 2. We do have a liquor license renewal for Panshall Incorporated doing business as Stop and Shop at 1249 East 2nd Street in Defiance. Do we have a request for a hearing on this issue? Without such a motion, notice has been made.
Thank you.
And on to the Board of Control. Mayor McCann.
Thank you, Mr. President. A couple things. I guess I'll reflect back a little bit. A couple weeks ago, I was invited to attend a ribbon cutting, and seeing these Boy Scouts here made me think of that out at Camp Lakota for the new Cooper Dining Hall. And I will tell you, it's a spectacular structure. And the good news is, I don't know any of the details, but it is available to rent. And it looks like it'd be a great place to host meetings. Now, it's a pretty big space. It's easily 4 times the size of this room. So probably 6 times the size of this room. But it's a big space, extremely well done. And so I just wanted to make sure the folks knew that was available. Friday night, we hosted the Hall of Fame at the Strady Center. It was extremely well attended. 5 new inductees: Denver Eckert, Hank Arps, Bill Kraus, Toddy Leal, and John Zimmerman. A lot of people there from the various families, and I think what I really want to mention is the young people that introduced each of those folks that were recognized. Brock Hazelton, Brock has been there before, led us off doing Denver Eckert. Catherine McDonald did Hank Arps. Liam Armstrong did Bill Kraus. Maria Morera Chavez did Toddy Leal, and Mabel Adams did John Zimmerman. Spectacular job, just spectacular job. Mr. Hans Zipfel teaches out at Defiance High School, always organizes that with the students. They just did a really, really nice job. Also, Lilac Festival was Saturday, huge event here in the city and very well attended. Mother Nature, thank you for the great weather day, and it was just a really, really spectacular event, and already looking forward to next year. And finally, Monday, Memorial Day, Monday the 26th at 10 o'clock in the morning, will be the annual program at Riverside Cemetery. The guest speaker this year will be Tanya Bruner from our Veterans Office. And that's all I have, sir.
And I'm glad you said that because you reminded me that on September 2nd, in the evening here, will be the final Parks and Riverfront Plan presentation. And the public is invited to come with their questions and their suggestions to hear it out.
Yep. It's here?
Yeah, it'll be a special guest kind of.
Oh, that's a city council night?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Sometimes we have those at the Strady, that's why.
That's true. You're right. Be a guest at City Council.
Gotcha.
Mr. Mack.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple things I wanted to make council aware of. First, we are hydrant flushing this week. You probably can't tell because of the rain, so people won't notice the water rushing down their streets as much. But it is that time of year and we're getting that taken care of this week. That is in preparation for an in-house water line replacement we are doing on Hopkins Street next week. We already have all the supplies. Everything's good. The crews are ready to go. So from Buckeye Street to Grover, we will be working on replacing a water line. So if there's some traffic delays or issues, I expect that sometime next week to be being worked on.
Will that finish out the water line replacement on Hopkins Street?
No.
Is that, are we scheduled for 26 for repaving?
No. There'll be more water line replacement in 26, Mr. Bass. Maybe in 27 we'll pay. In the meantime, pothole at City of Defiance, that kind of.
Yeah, well, it's gonna be flooded with.
I don't call it pothole, I call it dump truck. In front of my house.
As a reminder, lastly, the splash pad is in fact open. It opened at the beginning of May, but the pool at Kingsbury will not open till June 2nd. And our crews are working to get everything prepared and ready to go for that kind of herald of summer as the pool opens back up. So just wanted to make you all aware of that. That's all, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. Mr. O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request an executive session tonight to consider the purchase of property for public purposes, Ohio Revised Code Section 121.22G2.
We have a request for an executive session this evening. So moved, Mr. Mast.
Second.
Second, Mr. Hancock. All those in favor?
Twitter.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Mr. Mass.
Yes.
Mr. Wexler.
Yes.
Mr. Hancock.
Yes.
Mr. Rusky.
Yes.
And Mr. Engel.
Yes.
Before we adjourn for the evening, we'll have an executive session. And Ms. Sprague is not here this evening?
She's not.
Excellent. All right. We do have one item of.
I have one question if I could before we start.
Sure.
This is for Mayor McCann. Do we have any updates on the Walmart apartments or residentials that'll be coming up? I know that's not
I
much.
sat next to Mr. Isaac a couple of weeks ago at a dinner, and he assured me that they were clearing up the last issue or two,
Okay.
and that the program or the plan is to still move ahead with that. Now, I understand why there might be some skepticism because it was talked about 2 years ago. But I'll follow up with him.
That'd be good.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First reading by caption only. An ordinance amending the district map to rezone property located at 0 Wildwood Drive from an OR office residential district to an R2 medium density residence district.
Mr. O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mr. President. The applicant here that you heard from last week at the public hearing is requesting to amend our zoning map to a zoning district that allows for smaller sized single family home parcels. And the goal of this proposed amendment is to, as the clerk indicated, to rezone the property from office residential to medium density residence district. And on this map, part of it is already R2. This is the entire portion, or this is the entire project here. This is medium density residential, and this is office residential OR. They want to make it all medium density residential R2. And that's because that would allow for the developer to construct homes on lots that are smaller with width of only about 50 square feet and 72 square feet dimensions for those corner lots. Planning Commission met at the March 17th meeting and recommended approval for, among other reasons, to allow for greater housing density.
Mr. Corbett.
Well, I appreciate all the construction going on, we do need holidays, so if there's no further questions, motion to suspend and call.
Second.
With no other questions, we have a motion. Mr. Corbett? We have a second. Mr. Waxler?
Mr. Engel?
Yes.
Mr. Rusty?
Yes.
Mr. Hancock?
Yes.
Mr. Waxler?
Yes.
Mr. Mass?
Yes.
And Mr. Corbett?
Yes. Motion adopt.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Second, Mr. Engel?
Adopt.
Mr. Waxler.
Okay. Mr. Corbett?
Yes.
Mr. Mass?
Yes.
Mr. Waxler?
Yes.
Mr. Hancock?
Yes.
Mr. Rusty?
Yes.
And Mr. Engel?
Yes.
With that, this ordinance is adopted. Before we adjourn, we do have an executive session. But before we even stand up to stretch our legs, do we have any questions from any citizens or anyone who happens to be here this evening? Here's your shot.
I was just wondering.
Oh, if you like, you can come on up to the microphone. We have people who.
Hope we just
He
took
was,
it
he was
off.
using
Oh,
that.
no. He
Get
was
that
just going to
back
He's
refer
gonna
to
point
that.
something out.
He's gonna point something on the map.
Oh.
Here, if you wouldn't mind stating your name.
My name is Garrett Krause, and I just have a question for the zoning map.
Sure.
It's not coming back on.
What's your question?
There.
For that big lot right next to the planned medium residential zone, what do you plan on doing with that area?
That? I don't, Mr. Hancock, maybe you want to answer that question. Maybe you're not comfortable answering that question. I don't know.
Well, I do know that.
Why don't you explain to him why I chose you?
I'm on the board of the new home development, okay? And we operate, we are overseeing currently there's a building there, new home development. If you look where the arrow is and go down to the box, okay, that area there is gonna be new housing development with new home development. We're looking at putting in, I believe it's 40 units, I shouldn't say units that are collected together. And then below that, that's currently where we have, I believe, 15 units. If you look to the right where that big white area is, that's Kroger. So you're looking at, that's the map for Kroger. The other side of that development where you see that you was asking about, Mr. Kraus, was, that is basically, it's being farmed currently. There's no special plans at this point for that, but there could be coming in the future.
But that wouldn't be the city making those decisions.
And that is actually part of, I believe we just annexed, most of that in the city, I believe, even the farm ground, so. Previously it was in Richland Township. Is it North Richland or Richland?
This is Richland.
Okay.
So what, if new home development decides to develop that area you're talking about, what they'll do first is they'll come and meet with folks here at the city, most people in the engineering division, probably our zoning commissioner, and probably our city planner. And they'll meet and discuss a myriad of things. How the streets should go, how big the lot should be, what the setbacks should be, how they're gonna handle water, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, and all the other utilities that have to go in there. Telephone, cable TV, natural gas, Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, but fiber optics. All that has to go into a development. And then ultimately, then they'll make preliminary plans, final plans will go to planning commission. Planning commission will do their thing and then development can start. It sounds like a lot, but it's just good planning.
So I believe that fully answers my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
There'll be a quiz on that the next time I see you.
Well, if we don't have any other questions, we have a few minutes to stretch our legs before we end